Hello, hello, hello. If I feel a little more feel, if I feel, if I seem a little more energetic than I have been, that's because I went to sleep and woke up, and it's almost midnight my time. Um, so here we are in the next episode of the Mind of the Rev. Advent Day 8. um, it's happened a couple times where I fall asleep because I'm that tired and I wake up a lot of times before midnight. Um, and here we are. And do this, stay up for a little bit. I mean, I have to work in the morning, but I live where I work, so while it's not necessarily wake up and go to work, in the sense of, because even though where I work is below where I live, I see a distinct difference between the two. Um, Very clearly, in other words, when I'm done with work, I do not want to talk about it. Unfortunately, I live with my boss, who is also my father, um, who doesn't seem to understand the importance of separating work and personal life, and it frustrates me to no end when he starts talking about work stuff that is not relevant or even something I need to know, which I guess is the same thing. But, I digress. So my Christmas plans have changed technically 3 times. At one point, I thought I was going to my cousin's house that I went for Thanksgiving and wasn't looking forward to that because, I didn't feel like being around people that I don't really want to be around, i.e. my family, and have to go away from my comfort zone, which is pretty much my house, even though I am not happy here. That's a whole other issue. So my plans were changed because my aunt and her family are going to go visit her son. I finally found step 1 to the tree. It's the big tree. I'll have to look afterwards to see how many steps I'm at, how many steps I'm missing. Anyways, this is what I'm making. A snowman. Let's see if I can get it around the glare. Yeah. So there's that. So the plans changed to, we're just going to do something at home. Just be me and my parents. And then my brother came by to pick up his mail because he has never had his mail forward when he moved, which is one thing I'm definitely going to do. Except there is one piece of mail that I have to figure out how to get the people to remove myself from their mailing list. But I'll explain what that is in a moment. Anywho, so my brother came by to get his mail, and he's talking to my mother and probably my dad, who just happened to be in the room at the same time, and he's gonna come by Christmas Day with his current girlfriend, so we can meet her. Well, more so mom and dad can meet her. It probably isn't all that relevant that I meet her, which I'm fine with. But I still live in the same building, so we'll meet. But at least I still don't have to go anywhere, and they have plans to do something on Christmas Day, so which probably means we'll have our Christmas meal in the afternoon because they're going to go up. I think they're going up to my grandparents' grave, which is, I would say, about 2 hours away, give or take. So it's not. So we'll probably have whatever our Christmas meal is, and probably early afternoon. They will leave. I'll get the afternoon to myself, which I will look forward to. And after that, I don't know what happened because there's potentially my parents will go away for a couple of days, but that decision hasn't really been made. My mom has looked at some places, but I don't know how much he's talked to my dad about, you know, as I mentioned before, my dad has dealt with cancer, and it's he's doing a lot better. But as far as going away, um, that's something that they have to discuss. I think they should, not simply because I would love to have the time away from the two of them to have more of my own me time, but just because it's something they need. Because they were going to go away for a weekend in October for a family reunion, and they ended up not doing that. Um, which I think, like I said, I think they should have, even if it meant I had to deal with work. Because I, despite thinking I was going to get time off, I didn't. Um, well, I would have gotten some time off. I wouldn't have stayed open the whole weekend, as I already told my mother I was gonna not be open that particular Saturday. We might have had customers in. We might have had customers in to pick stuff up or um, have things delivered, but we wouldn't have actually had the shop open. I got my accent. Start taking energy medicine again. Okay, let's see. Step. Here we are. And the other thing that I mentioned as far as um, yeah, um, yep. I got mail in today from. Well, let me back up. Uh, at this point, it was probably 10 years ago, or around that. I really don't want to think too much about exactly how long it's been because, um, anyways, it's long enough that I don't know exactly how long ago it was. But it's been probably around 10 years or so, somewhere in that general time period. Because it was long before I was at the church that I'm currently at, and it was probably the second thing I did, um, as far as major change in what I thought I was going to do following college. The first one being I was at a church for about 3 years, and we never really did anything. We tried to do things, didn't work, didn't pan out, and um, the one thing that did seem to work really involved bringing someone else. So it wasn't really what I would call successful because it wasn't really our stuff. It was basically hiring someone to come in to do an event, and it didn't really. Let me put it this way: the church that I'm talking about doesn't exist anymore. I don't think they ever had the um, numbers to really get things going. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, a minute. Okay, one, two, three, four. Anyways, I digress. So, the second thing I intend to do is to try to, uh, not well, I wouldn't say start a ministry, but join a ministry that was literally within its, you know, birthing process. Um, and there's issues there, but anyways, during that time period, um, the person I was basically, I guess you'd say, partnering with to try to do this ministry, um, we went to a hotel, and before you have any thoughts, we went there for a ministry event thing that didn't pan out. So, well, we went to a ministry event that basically it was a person preaching, and it was, I think the person like preached at this hotel regularly. Um, anyways, so we went there to check this guy out, and I mean, he was nice. He had a good ministry, I think. I don't personally agree with some things he said, but I digress on that. That's not the point of the story. Um, like I said, he was a nice enough guy. Um, and if I'm being honest, I was just being polite by giving him my address to sign up for his newsletter, and here I am, how many years later, still getting that newsletter. And thing is, I never really like um, got into the newsletter. Like I opened it for a while, and then eventually I just got tired of it, and I never really even bothered. I don't even think I may have opened it, but I never read it, and it just kind of slowly got to a point where I just ripped up the envelope whenever it came and threw it out. And obviously after so many years, you think, oh, why don't you just get your name taken off? Well, turns out that's not as easy as I thought it would be, because I tried that. I've tried that now 3 times, and every time I never got a response. It's very frustrating. In fact, I got very frustrated earlier today because of it. Um, Even and in this last message I sent them, sorry. In this last message I sent them, basically saying, I said exactly, how long it's been since I met the guy, which I met him only once. I've never donated. I've never responded to the newsletters other than to simply say, please remove my name, which they've never done. And if I don't get any kind of response, if I get the next time I get a letter, I'm going to do something I really don't want to do, because I don't like talking to people over the phone if I don't have to. I prefer not doing it, but I digress. My point being is that no, I completely missed a step. Um, anyways, like I said, I don't like to do this because it's the whole idea of having to interact over the phone with someone that I really don't know. Because listen, I met this guy once, so I don't consider myself knowing him. Like, I know who he is, but I know nothing about him, and I would make the point that he knows nothing about me because we've never really interacted the one time. Um, so there is a contact information, but it says on there to get the person to come to your church or your event. And I don't want that. I just want to get off the mailing list, but it's the only contact information that's not an email. So if the next time I get um, if I get another newsletter, I'm going to call that number and be like, listen, I know this number is not for this, but I've been trying to, reach. I reached out multiple times through email to get this done, and it hasn't happened. So that's why I'm contacting through this number, which is, like I said, the only number that there is to contact from. Um, Bottom line is, I want my name taken off their mailing list, and thing is, I don't want to continue having to deal with this when I eventually move, because like I'm not wherever I'm moving, like I'm going to be moving probably a good distance away from where I currently am. And like where this guy does ministries, it's like several towns over, so it's not even relevance. There's really no relevance to where I am now, because I don't have a license, and even if I did, I wouldn't go to visit this guy because I have no interest. It's a ministry there's nothing wrong with the ministry. I'm sure it's perfectly fine. It's just, I have my own church that I'm involved in, so it's like, I'm involved in and have been involved in for close to 10 years. So I'm like, there's literally, it's a waste of time sending me newsletters, especially when I don't even read them because I don't want to. Anyways, that's that whole thing. That was my afternoon of. That was something that got me frustrated earlier today because I'm like, you know, I know someone who's a postman and had the thought, if this happens again, I'm gonna be like, hey, is there some way that I can just get something so it just literally stops being sent to me and I don't have to talk to someone in person? But like I said, in all fairness, I need to probably try every option available before I involve anything like that, no matter how much it frustrates me. Okay, let's see. Um, um, so, for those who regularly do listen to this stuff, watch it, I'm thinking about doing something similar in the new year with like possible vlogs, or it may be something I just do for myself and I don't really interact online with it, but I don't know. What I might do is try to do it for like a week. I mean, a month, and just see how it if it helps me any. There's our first thing, a snowman. I'm gonna pause for a moment because my mouth is really dry. Okay, we're back, and now we have Star Wars. After this, I was going to do like a promotion on my first week because I promote on Discord, but I wasn't going to promote every day. So, and originally I was thinking, oh, I was going to do this for I was going to do today's and then promote the last 7 days, but I was like, but I had a really long afternoon with work. Like I mentioned before, I live where I work, but I don't have any control over what I do as far as when I work. I kind of work when there's work, which, it's not always in control by, like, sometimes, like, I work on a florist, and sometimes what that means is sometimes it's when we get flowers in, and we have a good wholesaler that we get flowers to, but there's no regular schedule for like when they deliver as far as time wise. So we can usually get it. I think it's like every Monday through Friday is available, but the times of when they're going to actually be here ranges as early as 9:30 and can go until the early afternoon. That's just to say that you know. Okay, so today's thing for Star Wars is very simple. It's just a droid, which I know from something else that this is um, part of a. There's I think it's called like a stat or something like that, where it's what that's going to be another day. Let's see. Um, Even though there's not much to this thing, it's just a little droid. I do find it interesting because I think I may have had stuff like this when I was younger, but I'm more familiar with these two, like the Lego Star Wars games. Um, so even though it's not much, because of my lack of Star Wars um, sets in since pretty much childhood, I kind of look forward to this kind of thing, even though there's not much to it. So there we have it: a snowman and a droid, and a B. Technically, it's a B1 batter, B1, um, B1 battle droid. That's the word. Roger, 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 Roger. Roger, Roger. I blame Roger. I mean Roger, Roger. That's an inside joke that only one person would understand. Roger, Roger. Pooh. Roger. Roger? Okay, everyone. I probably won't go to sleep immediately, but there we have day 8, a snowman and a B1 battle droid. Goodbye, good night, everything in between.